If we look at the histogram, there are two bars completed, the 40 to 50 and the 50 to 60. In the table, we're given the information about the 50 to 60 group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that 50 to 60 group to work out the frequency density, and then we should be able to work out the frequency density scale on the histogram. Now the frequency density for this group is going to be frequency, which is 12, divided by the class width. Now 50 to 60 is 10, and 12 divided by 10 is 1.2. So we know that the frequency density for that 50 to 60 group is 1.2. So if we look at, this is the frequency density scale up the side, the height of that bar is the frequency density, so that must be 1.2. Now it's a slightly tricky scale. What we've got though is 3 centimeters is exactly the same as 1.2. Now if we divide 1.2, say 12, 12 divided by 3 is 4, so each of these, each half centimeter must represent 0.4. So we can go up then in 0.4s, and we can keep doing that. That must be 1.6. Here we have 2. 2.4 is there. Okay, that must be 3. 2.8, isn't it? Sorry, 2.8. This must be 3.2. This must be 3.6. And this must be 4 up there. Okay, so from that now we can start filling in the table here. For the 40 to 50 group, we can see that the 40 to 50 group, that's this one here, the height is exactly halfway between 2.8 and 3.2, so the height there must be exactly 3, and the width is 10, so the area of this rectangle is 3 times 10, which is 30, and remember, for a histogram it is the area which tells you the frequency. In other words, the frequency here for the 40 to 50 group must be 30. So there were 30 runners who had a time between 40 and 50 minutes. Okay, right, let's have a look at the next part of the question. I'm just going to rub this bit out on here. Okay, right, next part of the question. What we've got is we need to now fill in the histogram. So let's look at this first group. The frequency density for this first group is going to be 12 divided by, from 30 to 35, well that's 5. 12 divided by 5 is going to be 2.4. So for that first group there, the frequency density is going to be 2.4 for the 30 to 35 group. And I'd better use straight lines to make it a bit clearer here. So for that first group here, let's use slightly narrower line, that's fine. Okay, so for the 30 to 35 group, the frequency density is 2.4. So I can do a rectangle that goes like that. Okay, for the 35 to 40 group, let's just work out the frequency density there. Frequency density this time is going to be, where are we? Frequency density this time is going to be 20 divided by 35 to 40, well that's 5. 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. So the frequency density for that second group, the 35 to 40 group, is 4. Let's just do that one. Okay, in other words, the rectangle goes from there up to 4. And then it goes across and comes down like that. Okay, next group is the 60 to 80 group. Now for the 60 to 80 group, the frequency density this time is going to be the frequency 16 divided by the class width, which is 20, and 16 over 20, well that's just the same as 8/10, or 0.8. Okay, so the frequency density for that last group, the 60 to 80 group, is 0.8. And if we just draw that on, then here we have our 0.8. So the last rectangle on the histogram is going to look like that. Okay, next part is a bit fiddly because we're going to now use the histogram to work out something. And in this case, it says runners who achieved a time between 37 and 48 minutes got a silver medal. So how many runners were awarded silver medals? Now, it can only be an estimate because we don't really know exactly the times for all of these runners, but we can work out where 37 is, and it's about, where are we? Okay, 37 is here, and 48 is here. So what we want to do is work out how many runners have a time between 38, which is there. Okay, I'm just going to put the line in, sorry, 37, which is there, and then between 48, okay, which is there. So essentially we're looking to find this area here together with this area here. Now we know that the total area for this rectangle is, in the table, it was 20 because that's the frequency for this group, and the total area for this group is 30. So all we need to actually work out is what fraction of the whole rectangle is represented by this bit here. Okay, so first of all, for this rectangle, well, we know that if we look at how many squares, there's 5 squares across the top there. This part must be 3/5, because it's 3, if you like, 3 squares across out of a total 5 squares across. It must be 3/5 of the area of 20. Okay, so we need to work out 3/5 of 20, and that'll tell us roughly how many people there are here. And if we look at, we're trying to find the area now of this part, and you can see that this part, because it's 8 squares from there to there, and it's 10 squares altogether across, this shaded area here must actually be 8/10, okay, 8/10 of the 30, which is the total number of runners in that group. Now, if we work out 3/5 of 20, well, 1/5 of 20 is 4, 3 fours are 12, and to work out 8/10 of 30, well, 1/10 of 30 is 3, 3 eighths are 24. So the area of this part must be 12, the area of this part here must be 24. If we add the two together, we get 36, and that's our best estimate for the number of runners who might be awarded silver medals.